to medical marijuana, etc., has been pushed forward. I believe it got updated on here too. Oh wait, we're just waiting on what do you call it? The DOJ to do the final, like, yes. It's been 3 days. So that should be updated today, as long as I can get a hold of a justice. I'm gonna probably fire them, like, in that government email chain they set up.
What happened there? Because I briefly talked with Naya after I guess Arcadia called her down to talk about it again, and then Naya like crashed out on me. So
Wait, what do you mean?
What happened? Well, Naya was like, I don't know. They told me that I need to change this and this again, but it's my authority. I don't know why they're sticking their nose in there. And I was like, I don't know. My foot's broken. Talk to Nino. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about the dispensary amendments or
the medical marijuana?
Oh, they were specifically, they had an issue with the use of the term medicinal marijuana and just wanted that taken out because they feel like there needs to be a strong distinction. Yeah, that's it. As far as I know.
Wait, he said medical marijuana. Are we talking about something different right
now?
Yeah,
so...
He had me amend the dispensary legislation.
Oh,
sorry. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard medical marijuana.
Yep. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. So the Los Santos dispensary legislation has been updated. Separately, the Naya thing was similar but related. I'll be honest with you. I don't really fully comprehend exactly what the issue was, but there was some back and forth about, like, I don't know. I actually don't even. Poor Naya. The thing should have just been signed in a while ago. But I think things started moving forward on that. On to the next thing. The Maeve is working on the alcohol licenses for Los Santos. And
you might have missed it. I had a email in our email chain a few days ago. I asked for that to be reassigned. I'm not going to be able to tackle anything really until after the new year.
Oh shit! Okay, easy.
Yeah, you might want to read that email if you haven't. I can.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to read it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna talk about it too much here.
Okay. We'll get that reassigned. Anything?
Yeah, I marked it on the card on the Trello has all the notes that you had for what you wanted for it, and I marked that I needed it to be reassigned. So whoever wants to pick that up can pick that up. But,
okay.
I mean, if we have a consultant taking over a lot of the website work, I'll happily take that up. I'd love to dive into some legislation.
Yeah, the big TLDR about it is, like, I think we could just take the dispensary stuff and just bang something out. Best effort.
Yeah, it's basically just going to be a copy paste job.
I saw that
too hard.
That Blaine County pushed distillery licenses or legislation, anyways. But that was shared with me about a week ago by Ajax, and then I saw what was posted, and it's basically like fucking moonshine for everyone. There's like no legislation at all. I don't know if any of you guys saw that one.
I saw it, but I hadn't gone through it yet.
It's like moonshine isn't illegal anymore. That's literally it.
Sick.
As an anti-prohibitionist, fine by me.
Okay. Yeah, so the big thing with that too is, like, I break it down into this. It's legal up north. The legislation they wrote up there is like you can cook anything, but we need a very good. We need our own rule set for down here. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a shit show.
Yeah, I had a conversation with someone about this earlier today, and I said the one thing that legislation is missing is the opportunity to find out. It's all fuck around and no find out. You know what I mean?
Yep. 100%.
That's a good thing. So.
Okay.
Unrelated, but I did also add to the Trello. We might want to look at. I don't know if you included it in your penal code review, Archie. I didn't get a chance to cross-reference, but looking in the MDT at the charges for like drug possession charges, it references legislation that doesn't exist as far as like the scheduling and the like degree of it. Which was discovered when some new cadets were trying to charge someone possession. They were like, we can't legally charge them with any of these because what's this legislation? I don't know what schedule marijuana is or what degree of possession this is. And yeah,
Oh,
I did put into the review that every single thing that is in regards to controlled substances needs to be re-reviewed with the medical authority. So it is there to some extent, though I don't think I pointed out that specifically.
Wait, re-explain that. What's
I
happening?
mean, if you look at the Trello card,
True
I
anything
have
to 65 months.
The MDT on there for you, but
Okay.
it's
65.
So it's basically the. Let me pull it up here.
Offenses against public health.
Are you talking about the fact that the charge is referencing legislation, but they don't actually give a name for it, or like?
Well, so
make
it says
easy
if
to
you look
up?
at any possession of a scheduled drug, right? Any of those charges, they say possesses the whatever degree amount of any schedule, whatever drug, as listed in the dosage legislation.
Dosage exists.
I have looked
Dosage says-
everywhere. No one can find it. If
It's
No, it
drug
exists.
oversight and scheduling. It exists. It's just that for some reason when you search drug, it doesn't pop up. Like
I
the
mean,
search function is.
we were all
cooked.
scrolling through it manually and we couldn't
Nah,
find
it's here.
anything.
It's
here.
at the very bottom, right above, or not very bottom, but like it's right above. Here's a report number actually, 10125.
What?
Oh well, there we go.
Bruh.
It exists. It's just it's written poorly.
We had 4 people scrolling through the MDT manually and we couldn't find this.
Wait, so this charge was updated?
No, the charge always referenced legislation because of how complex the scheduling
Wait,
was.
what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So every
When
time
is
somebody
always though?
Well, that's how it was written from the beginning. So like it
No, but
they
it
intended
wasn't
for it to be
though.
No, when they first introduced this specific penal code, it had this specific language so that it doesn't have to continuously update per every new scheduled drug. So it's always referenced legislation.
Oh, so after the original dosage legislation.
So like when fentanyl got added, they didn't want to keep updating the penal code. They just want to update legislation so that when they reference legislation, they have the rubric in front of them, what's considered first degree or for this and what's for that.
Can we maybe see about because like I said, like we all tried searching drugs, scheduled, possession, all like dosage, all these things. And we
Oh
couldn't find anything. We scrolled through it
Lord!
manually. Somehow all of us missed it. I don't know what was maybe the
Skill
MDT
issue.
was just being fucky. Maybe it was a skill issue. I don't know.
Well, it's
But
not
can we
just a
maybe
skill
have-
issue, but for some
Yeah.
reason the search function doesn't search actual terms in there. It's either
only
case
4
sensitive or
characters long.
Oh,
What, Michael?
Short words don't get found.
Can we maybe have it so the title includes dosage? Because like, if we're gonna have it reference dosage legislation in the
Yeah.
charge, then that's what cops are going to search.
I'm gonna be honest, and I think Archibald and I talked about this at like an introductory level, but all the legwork that he did on the penal code should result in a single document that is the criminal code of San Andreas, and things like drug scheduling
Agreed.
should just be an appendix in that document. And I realize it's going to be a long document, but it beats going to the penal code to get pointed to a piece of legislation that may also point to 3 other pieces of legislation, and then
Mhm.
suddenly you have 6 tabs open. You know what I mean? So it should turn into a criminal code. Things like drug scheduling, weapon classification, they should all be appendixes within the same document. And I know Hallow has an issue with things being long and complicated, but sometimes things being long simplifies it. Because having fucking 12 pieces of legislation to reference just to charge someone is
Well,
fucking cooked.
I don't I think Hollow's statement also didn't come with a lot of context. So we don't even know what he was referring to exactly, right? Like specifically what I'm saying is that what you're describing as a solution, Michael, I think isn't actually long and complicated. It's long and simplified.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, and okay, shit. So, what was? Can you hit me back, Maeve? What was it that cops were having an issue with?
We couldn't find the in the chart it says like as defined in dosage legislation, but none of us could find the dosage legislation. So we thought maybe it was something that was like from before the Constitution got rewritten and that wasn't active anymore. Like we all tried searching it, we tried manually looking for it, we could not find anything that it existed. So we
Where
thought the
is
charge
it?
wasn't valid. It's in legislation, I guess, but it's
Search the
good
word
luck finding it.
oversight.
That's ironic.
Oh, because it doesn't have dosage in the title.
And
Yeah.
word drug is only 4 characters.
Yeah,
so
but we
when you
tried
search
searching,
it, it
like,
doesn't find
Oh,
it.
drug
I
possession.
didn't even
We
know
tried
what the
searching all
fuck
sorts of different
dosage was.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tried searching
Oh
what
my
it was.
God.
We tried scrolling through manually and looking for the legislation. I guess we all missed it, but like,
I feel like this used to include the word dosage in the title, though.
I feel like it did too.
I just think if we're going to refer to something as an acronym in the penal code, we should probably have that in the fucking title so that the cops
Yeah.
can search it.
I mean, it's not even just that. It's the problem right now, and I think is our penal code right now is disjointed from legislation, and therefore there are charges that are inherently not valid, and people have been charged with it. You know what I mean? Like IFACs. How is an IFAC illegal?
Because doctors aren't allowed to give them out.
You know, but
Per SOP.
no, but you get, but that's what I'm
I know
saying,
what you
right?
mean. That's-
Yeah,
yeah. Like,
no, I
that's-
get it. I get it.
It that a penal code charge should never be like based on just the Constitution.
Yeah.
That is not ideal. And I also don't necessarily think there's a lot of work necessary to either. Anyways, I don't want to open that too much up because I think we're going to discuss it on Sunday anyways. But the thing that we are going to get pressed against is a good portion of Los Santos does not believe that there's 2 counties, that there are, you know, like there should be, like, you know what I mean? They want to pretend none of this shit exists, and they just want to press buttons on the MDT. So that is what we're going to be up against. I'm thinking on Sunday's meeting, which is, hey, technically some of these penal codes are not backed by anything, and that makes it very confusing if you're trying to appropriately either press charges or be even defending against these things. Now, we could go down the route of a lot of court cases, right? But that's not ideal, and I don't think that's exactly conducive to, like, a healthy system.
Yeah,
right?
nobody really wants to do that if they can help it anyway.
Exactly. It's
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it was at the end of the day, it probably was just a skill issue on our part, but like the fact that it was me, Forte, and 2 cadets, one of which like used to work with the DOJ, like until like right before he became a cop, and like none of us could find it.
yeah.
I
Okay.
will say that's part of the reason why they get 30 days to push charges. So
Well, like they already had their guy in the cells like after the whole thing, so it was like they just decided not to push that charge and do everything else because that didn't feel comfortable pushing that charge when he couldn't find a legal basis for it, which good on him.
Yep.
So,
That's good. Yeah.
yeah, no, I agree with that
Um,
overall.
Was some of the confusion like, because the charge doesn't also reference Los Santos County, so I can imagine there might be some problems brought up in terms of what is legal and illegal possession, because
I mean, I was able to tell them, like, weed is, you can have six joints or 3 baggies or whatever, and like we were able to reference that easily, but we had no idea what schedule of drug weed was or what degree of possession this guy had with the 53 baggies that he had. So like, it was like we didn't know what numbers to pick, and we couldn't find the legislation that was supposed to tell us that.
shit, let me tell him, let me call you. Okay. Let me call you.
Yeah, I mean that right there really more than anything sounds like an issue with the search function on the MDT.
It's not though,
part of
because
it.
dosage is not in the title.
That's the other part of it.
I think that's the main thing. Everything else, it says market, nom nom, etc., but this one doesn't, and it just needs to be updated. Okay.
The problem
let's not like we need to keep these meetings short. So
Yeah, it's not the biggest deal. I'm glad it's in there. You know, I can let them know so that they know the future. But as long as it's in there, that's the big thing. I thought we were gonna have to like rewrite fucking drug scheduling or some shit.
Yep. Right. Anything else, Maeve?
No, not from me.
Okay, easy. Archibald?
I finished up my draft for the security servers for court center stuff. I've put it up on the email chain. Michael said he wanted to talk with me about it in a little bit, but you go ahead and look at it if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a draft. There's going to need to be more added, but I got the basic bare bones together.
Can you give us a rundown of what's going to be in that legislation?
Yeah, let me just pull it up real quick, make sure I got it all. Okay, so like I said, it's in the legislation section in the email chain if you want to look at it yourself. Right now it is, like I said, just the bare bones, constitutional justification, introduction. Once you get into the details, I've decided for now we can change it if we want, but I'm calling it the Court's Internal Security Service, so it's the KISS Act.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, trying to define them specifically as, you know, security that's supposed to be maintaining order.
Do me a favor.
Operations. Go ahead.
Go to reports. Do you see that?
What about reports?
Click on reports on your MDT.
Yeah.
Do create report. And copy and paste what you got, and in the title put the name and then in parentheses draft, and you're gonna put it under the what is it called, under Los Santos County documents. This is gonna be the new shit where we go about it. All our drafts, like, you know, you put it in there, you can put a timestamp in the title as well, so eventually we can just change the category and like promote it to legislation once it goes through. This way we can talk about it in the city without opening up Word documents.
You just have one person making notes in the document then, just so shit's captured.
Yeah, like the owner. So like whoever is working on the legislation. But we still continue doing like how we have been doing things. But this way it's like, yo, when we want to talk about something, we just slap in the latest draft in there.
Love it.
I'm always impressed how productive we are.
Okay, I've never messed with this. How do I just like save it? Let's stop. Okay.
Yep. Oh, all right. I already fuck with this. Definition should be above details. I don't know why we started putting definitions on the bottom. I think I want to go back and revise that. Definition should always come first.
I think it's just an assumption of it being a part of the details, but I can easily move that.
Yep. It's kind of like when I think of it from a reader perspective, you want to know what words are being used before you read the usage of it. Okay. Court's Internal Security Service. Okay. Is that what Carmine wants it called?
That is just what I started calling it while I was writing.
Okay.
Carmine has not gotten back to me, so he can change it. If they've got different ideas, I'm happy to change anything. It's just what I came up with.
I would poke at Quantum too, because Quantum's going to be thinking about this 90% of the time, whereas Carmine probably like 10% because he's got other duties.
Of course.
Archie Industries.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
All right, switched up. Definitions up above it now.
oh my God. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love this already, not having to open up Word docs. Okay, beautiful. I'd say keep cracking at that. Talk to Quantum. I think keeping it simple is the way to go. And then we can expand on this, over time.
So my only thought on this, and I brought this up to you, Archibald, the last time we talked, was that we have legislation for the private sector through the Group 6 one, and I was wondering if we should just amalgamate the two. That was my only real thought on this, but
Wait, say
I
again?
leave that. We have the Group 6 legislation, right, which provides a lot of additional abilities to Group 6 workers, like brandishing and whatnot.
Mm.
And I was wondering if we should turn it into like a private sector security act and then have different articles for Group 6 and the mall and so on. So that stuff is contained. Just to kind of bring the number of pieces of legislation down and kind of group like-minded legislation together. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
think that is a separate effort that we need a broader conversation on. Because
because
while
I
that
think-
would reduce the number, it will increase the discoverability. Decrease the discoverability. Harder to find.
Well, yeah, that's the one challenge with going that route. I think longer and simpler is better.
Yeah.
But the MDT also doesn't search in the article; it only searches
Yeah.
by title, and I think that's where a lot of the challenge comes through when looking through the MDT.
Yep. Okay.
It'd be nice if you just search the word like drug, and it listed every piece of legislation that mentions the word drug. You know?
Yes, very true. Anything else, Archie? I think tomorrow we're going to talk over the penal code, which you've already kind of, spoken to the justices. Weiss has seen it. Hopefully the rest of them.
Oh, I know at the very least Judge Falconer has seen it because he made a snarky comment about right to bear arms when I was asking them about stuff for security service earlier. And I had basically said that everything that could be taking away someone's firearm is technically a violation of right to bear arms. But that was, it's funny. He was being snarky. It was funny.
Okay.
Just know he read it.